Back at Shane's Rib Shack for a Thursday. We've got football in focus ready to kick off again this week. Going to kick things off with Coach Tommy Grayson, former Eastern Guilford head football coach of the Wildcats, and also headed to the Guilford County Hall of Fame this coming Monday. Coach Grayson, first of all, good to see you.
Good to see you.
I know you've been a busy man, staying active. You just told us you're doing a lot of coaching of baseball at Guilford College these days. Even well, since you retired, you're still doing some coaching.
Yeah. When I retired, I coached football at Guilford for 7 or 8 years. And then I went over to baseball.
Who were you coaching with when you were coaching football? Who was your head man back in those days?
I started there when Mike Ketchum was the head man. Then Kevin Kiesel came in, and I coached on his staff. And then when the new Coach Buzovich came in, I decided they did too much work.
See, they've got just between me, you, and the fence post, they've got a young staff up there. It's a very, I do know Mr. Maynard. Bracy Maynard's been around for a while. He's been up there since back in the day.
He's a good guy, Bracy.
Spent a lot of time in it. I know he's got some good roots up there too, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. He's a good coach.
Yeah, going back to the days of his dad, I guess I guess it was Rock Maynard was his dad.
No, Rock wasn't his dad.
No relation, huh?
No relation.
Yeah, wow. Now you may have known him probably back in the day too, Mr. Maynard. Probably knew him well.
For Coach
That's
Maynard.
what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, he's the man. He's the best.
What was it about his style of coaching that was so effective over the years?
He was just a great guy. I mean, everything he did was positive, and he kept things very simple. Nothing sophisticated at all. You just play the ball, and you give it everything you got, and everybody seemed to.
Now after you finished playing, did you get to coach any with him at all, or you're coaching?
No, I didn't coach with him at all. I was coaching either at high school or whatever.
Exactly. Now you go back to days coaching the Guilford team. Did you work at all with Sonny Cashin back in the day? Remember Sonny?
I used to play on Sonny's Funnies.
Oh, did you back in the day?
Yeah.
You probably made a few trips down to where I know they used to play a lot down near Roxborough.
Oh yeah, we played in Roxborough a lot.
Yeah. It was a good day. Sonny had some very good teams back in those days.
Well, when I was finishing pro ball, I came back and played for them, and there were several ex-pro players on the team, and a couple I'd played with before too.
A lot of experience over the years. How long did you coach at Eastern Guilford, as far as coaching goes?
I think about 17 years, from the time it opened till 91, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. How long did you coach overall? Probably the full 30 years or more?
Oh yeah, 32 I think.
32 total.
But I went to Eastern the day it opened, and I was the head basketball coach.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. God, I know you played football, basketball, and baseball at Guilford. I didn't know you were a basketball coach.
I was the head basketball coach, and I coached basketball for a couple of years, and the coach left, and the principal called me and said, "You want basketball or football?" And I said, "Well, I'll take both of them." He said, "No, you got football." So,
I got you.
Yeah, I said, "Okay." And I've coached baseball there, wrestling, track.
You did it
golf.
all?
Yeah, back in those days, you did it all.
You had to do it all. It's kind of like I think I'd heard stories about Coach Seiler at Southern Guilford way back when. He'd be coaching football, basketball, baseball, all coaching every one of them.
That's right.
Yeah. Were you the AD down there too for a while?
No, I was not the AD. That's one thing I didn't want to do.
Yeah, you were so busy doing other stuff. You had time to be the AD. You had to make all those schedules. You had trouble keeping playing all the games on your schedules.
Yeah.
Wow. Of all those sports you did, because you did the football, the basketball, the baseball, the 3 primary sports, was there one you enjoyed more than other, or just enjoyed them all?
I enjoyed them all, but probably baseball was my first love, and I was most successful in baseball. So actually, when I went to Guilford from Chowan Junior College.
From Chowan Junior, gotcha.
And I went to Guilford because they would allow me to play baseball. I could have gone to several other places, but I went there because of baseball. And
you played some football there too, right?
Oh yeah.
Because you were like, I think I read somewhere you led the team in rushing for a couple of years. Might have been all conference a couple of years there too.
Yeah, I mean, everything I did in my career came at the right time.
It's all about timing, huh?
It's all about timing.
And now you had some good time in there, no doubt about it.
We had good players. I mean, it's just until last year, we had one of the best records they'd ever had there.
They went 9-1 last year, yeah.
And
who was coaching you? Were you coached by the
John Stewart.
Coach Stewart? I remember his son Johnny Stewart
Yeah.
back in the old days. Remember those people? Yeah. So Coach Stewart, they had some coaches about that time had some good success in that community. Coach Stewart, exactly.
Yeah.
And you played a little basketball too, didn't you?
I did. Coach Steele I had played a little bit in junior college. And, well, actually, when I went to junior college, I played football, and then my grades weren't good enough to play, and I started basketball. My grades weren't good enough to play baseball, and that killed me.
That kind of crushed you, I'd say. Yeah, bound to.
And that's one of the things that made me go on to school.
Yeah, I woke you up about the school.
I wanted to play.
Yeah.
So I went back there from the second year, played football, played basketball, a little bit of basketball, and played baseball. And then I came to Guilford.
I guess that the academics kind of came a reward system. You do well in your academics, you get to play your sports.
Yeah, I was not a real good student. And when I got to Guilford, I was really scared to death.
Yeah, about the academic side.
I didn't think I'd make it. And I just kind of found my way.
It became more academic as time went on.
Oh, yeah. When I graduated, I had pretty good grade point.
Yeah, that shows a lot of improvement. It shows the wake-up call down at Shawan was a good wake-up call, too.
And Dr. Appenzell,
good man, yes,
I had
sir.
him in class. And when you went in his class, he said, look, you come in this class, you pay attention, and you won't have any problem. You pay attention and take notes, you won't have any problems. And that's something that kind of stayed with me, and it fascinated me because he could run a class and never open a book.
Just talk.
And never stop talking about this case, that case, whatever. It was amazing.
I tell you, he's done it for a lot of years.
And he was I had him for a Latin class Saturday morning.
Wow.
And when I came out of that class, I would run through a wall. He would always have something on Saturday morning about some battle that they fought or one war, and all these things, and it was unbelievable.
He found a way to make it interesting.
Yes, he did.
Probably on your checklist of teachers over the years. One of your best all time.
Absolutely, he's one of the best speakers I've ever heard too.
Yeah, he was a great one. And the field's named after him at Guilford College. There's a lot about that too. And he coached some football there back in his day, also, didn't he?
Yes, he did, and I'm sure he's responsible for me being in this Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you got to give him a lot of credit there.
I'm sure he's responsible for that.
How many others, and you might be able to tell us this, are you other Hall of Fames you're also in the Guilford College Hall of Fame?
Guilford College Hall of Fame, Chowan College Hall of Fame, Davidson County Hall of Fame where I grew up.
Tell us about that. Let's go back to Davidson County. What area of Davidson County? I know it's not huge. What area did you grow up in? What school did you go to back in those days?
I went to Lexington High School.
Lexington High School back in the day. Wow.
That was, I guess I was a late bloomer when I left high school. I played basketball and baseball and football. I played basketball for 2 years, but I played football for 4 years and baseball for 4 years. But I was not very fast, and kind of, I weighed 150 pounds. And I went to Chowan, I weighed 150 pounds, and I ran maybe a 5'2", 5'3", 40. It was nothing.
Wow.
When I left there, I could run a 4.7 40, and I weighed 188 pounds.
Wow, you got bigger and got much faster.
Yeah.
They must have had I'm going to stop and kind of interject this. They must have had a good program at Shawan. That's what I'm hearing here.
That's Jim Garrison, and he's passed away now. He's probably the reason that I ever stuck it. I met him at an All-Star game, the East-West All-Star game. A friend of a friend or something knew him, and he told me or my dad to come bring me over there, and he'd say, and I met him over there, and he had a wadded up application in his back pocket.
Carried one of those around with him just in case.
And he gave it to me. He said, fill that out, and we'll see what happens. And I filled it out, and I wasn't really very academic in high school. I had all the courses because my friends took them. And I took
same classes together.
but I didn't do much academically. And when I went there, I found out real quick that when you go to Chowan, when you leave there, you're ready to go.
The 4-year school.
But you're not going to leave just by doing nothing. You got to go. And you have to have a C average. And I got my C average on the last day of the second session of summer school.
So you took the summer school course too then?
I did. I struggled academically. I mean, I could do it. I just didn't know how.
I guess coming out of Lexington, they just didn't push you guys as much there as they may have needed to.
No, and my parents did everything for me. I mean, they were my best supporters. I mean, all the way through while they were living. But neither one of them was educated. So when it got to be, I'd bring algebra home, and then my mother would say, "Well, I can't help you." I would say, "Well, I'm just not going to do it then."
Just let it go.
And I let it go. And I could have gotten help from my sisters. I just didn't do it. And as it turns out, that's the best thing that could happen to me. Because I used that through my whole coaching career.
You stress that to your kids?
Because I let them know right now, you're looking at that guy. You're looking at that guy right now. And it takes hard work, and you got to get after it.
You think about it, looking back at those days, what positions, I won't say position, what positions did you play in those sports?
Well, in football, I was in high school, I was a running back and a defensive back. My freshman year, I was a fullback and a linebacker.
Wow, I was about a small 150-pound fullback.
And basketball, of course, I was a guard. In baseball, I played third base, second base.
You handled both those balls?
But mostly third base.
Tell you what, those kind of the key positions on those teams, too, a lot of responsibility with those positions.
Yeah, and I was that person that I loved playing ball. I didn't care what it was. I loved playing ball. So if you needed a shortstop, man, I went out there. If you needed an outfielder, I went out there. If you needed a catcher, I went out there. And I did a little catching in Legion ball. And I played Legion ball for 6 years.
Man, that's a long haul for Legion ball. Yes, sir.
My first year, I was 13. I was on the roster, but I was.
And you weren't playing junior Legion ball. You were playing senior Legion ball.
I was on the roster, but I was also bat boy. But then I played in a couple of games. But I just learned to play everywhere, and it served me when I signed professionally, because when I played in 5 years of professional ball, I played every position on the field except pitching and catching.
Wow!
And 1 year I was the bullpen catcher in AAA.
So you made it as high as AAA?
Yeah.
Wow. Who were you with? What organization?
Detroit.
So that's going back to Mr. Farrell. Did Mr. Farrell run into you? Yeah.
George signed me.
Yeah, I thought the Farrells might have been involved there. Yeah. Wow.
And
because they had some, maybe wrong, they had some kind of Guilford College connections too. They were kind of connected to Guilford back then. Rick and Wes both. Yeah.
And Rick was the president of the Tigers at the time.
Wow.
And probably the biggest disappointment I ever had, him and George came to see me playing in Charlotte when I was in AA. And Rick said, "Well, we're going to take you to the big leagues, but you're in the pennant race here in AA, so we're going to leave you here."
Boy.
And that just killed me.
Boy, you had to do it over again, just that one drink of that coffee.
That's all.
And something, yeah, just a taste.
That's all.
And you were that close.
Oh, yeah.
They're ready to take you up, and they wanted to keep you there for the. How did you guys do in that pennant race? I hope you won it all.
No, we didn't win it all. And at that time, I was teaching in the off season, and I went through the regular season except for maybe the last week, and I would leave and come home and teach. And when I made the AAA team, and then I would teach and leave early in March 15th to go to spring practice. But when I made AAA, I quit teaching.
Dropped them both, yeah.
and hoped that I would make it.
And where was that AAA team located again?
Toledo.
Toledo, Ohio. Toledo
Mud Hens.
Mud Hens. Back in the day, man. That's something. Going back. Wow. A lot of good experience. What was it like being on the road back in those days? You guys never traveled anything like they do even 20 years ago. Back in those days.
Those guys get on that bus at Guilford and they complain about the bus.
Right.
And I just laugh at them. We ran. If you've seen the movie Bull Durham, that's the bus we rode on.
That old bus
Yes.
had a tendency to break down occasionally too, I'm sure.
Yes, and no air conditioning. You went with the windows open and the seats were a little cramped.
Right. No video machines, no movies, no extra food, just hit the bus.
Even in AAA, when I was in Toledo, when we played Syracuse and Rochester, that was an 8-hour bus ride. We didn't fly. We flew to Winnipeg, Canada, and we flew to Richmond in Norfolk. And those trips were always together.
Combo teams, yeah,
And,
4 games each place.
But everywhere else we went by bus.
Wow, some long hauls back in those days.
You know, when I was in AA, you'd get on the bus at midnight and you didn't get off the bus till the next morning. That's the way it was when we went to Syracuse and Toledo. After the game, you had time to go eat, say goodbye to your wife, get on that bus at midnight, and sometimes not show up till 7 or 8 in the morning.
Right.
Get in your hotel room, sleep for a few hours.
Play a game that day.
Yeah.
Right back at it. Right back at it. What did you like the most about those days, back in those baseball days playing for professional? What did you like the most about those days?
Well, it's fun. I got to meet a lot of people, and I'm terrible with names and terrible about remembering things. But I met a lot of good people, good guys.
You probably saw a few of those guys that made it up to the Tigers too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Guys you played with.
Jim Leland, who was the manager for a long time.
Jimmy Leland.
Gene Lamont. I played with both of them.
Wow, interesting.
And it was fun. I met a lot of people. I learned a lot of stuff. And I learned, like right now, I consider myself in baseball, I've got a lot of experience, but I don't know anything about it. That's how much there is out there.
Oh yeah, it's crazy because you go out there, you learn something new every day.
And then when I went to pro ball, I learned something every day.
Yeah,
every day. I mean, something new. And
wouldn't you say that's the thing about sports? I mean, basketball, I feel like we probably, well, you still got some basketball. We can go out and play basketball one-on-one right now. Football, we go out and play the football. Baseball, there's so much going on in that game at the same time. Something, I mean, you see something you never seen before every day, it seems like.
Every single day. I mean, I see stuff in the college game that I've never seen before.
Right.
And it's crazy. But that's the way it is.
Yeah, I saw a walk-off balk this year. Bases loaded walk-off balk.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy stuff like that.
Yeah.
Guys passing guys on the base pass during the game. Send the guy back, guys out, closest man to the plate, makes him get credit with the out.
That's right.
Crazy stuff. Who got you into coaching?
That's all I ever wanted to do. I mean, I couldn't do anything but play ball. So as I started in college, I just majored in PE. So I got to thinking about, I don't know anything but ball, but I know enough. That's what I want to do. I wanted to coach
from day one.
All the time.
Yeah.
And I got my father knew a principal down in Rocky Mountain at this elementary school, 1 through 8. And they didn't have a PE teacher. And he got me that job. And I worked there for 1 year, and then I moved to Northwest Guilford Middle School.
Northwest Middle School.
For 2 years.
Gotcha.
And when I was in Rocky Mountain, it was crazy because I had signed in '68, played in Florida State League in Lakeland. And the next year I had that job in Rocky Mountain. That's where their A-ball team was.
Is that right? Wow.
So during my spring break, I went to spring training.
You got it, yeah.
And I made the Carolina League team. So I was playing right there and living at home.
You had it made then. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
Wow. I think 68, wasn't that a big year for the Tigers, too?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was World Series.
They won the World Series.
That's what I thought. That was Mickey Lolich and, gosh, all those guys. Denny McClain, those guys. Al Kaline. Boy, you had some good company.
Bill Freehand.
Bill Freehand was a great catcher, wasn't he? Wow. Norm Cash. Man, you go on and on about it. That was solid baseball, everyday player back in those days. And those guys didn't take 2 or 3 days off. They played every day.
Yeah.
Amazing back in those days. Back in Lexington, real quick, we'll move on to some more current things. Was it a good sports environment in Lexington growing up as a kid? Sports was the thing. That's what you guys did a bunch of, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty good. I mean, of course, it's nothing like today. I mean, I couldn't have played today because coaches today want you to play their sport year-round, and I just didn't do that.
There's no doubt about it. You could write the book about shooting. You could write a lot of chapters in those sports.
And I still, I still encourage my players to play something else.
Yeah.
There's something you can learn in another sport, and that competition that you get playing in a regular game as opposed to a pickup game or a weekend showcase. The competition's what's key.
Yeah, I think that goes back a lot to that Legion Ball. That Legion Ball really is one of the better brands of baseball in the summer you're going to find anywhere. No doubt about it. Coach Tommy Grayson with us, Eastern Guilford Wildcats football coach for many years, and also going to the Guilford County Hall of Fame this coming Monday at the Coliseum. Go back to Gibsonville days. Now, did you coach? You started the Eastern Guilford. They had opened the doors. Did you coach any at Gibsonville during that time?
No, I didn't coach at Gibsonville. I just coached the first year I was at Eastern Guilford.
Did you know these coaches that came through there back in those days? I remember guys like Eddie Flincham. Flincham had already been gone. Was he around?
He was at Eastern for 2 years, I think.
Yeah. What about a guy like Coach Norwood, Tommy Norwood?
Oh yeah, he was at school at Elon. He came over and helped us.
What was he like as a young coach back in those days?
He was great. All those guys, What people don't realize is any success I have is because of the coaches I had.
The guys around you.
The first coach, real coach, full-time coach I ever hired was Charlie Groves.
I got the name written right there on papers. And asked, what about Charlie Groves? Was he one of your top assistants?
Yeah, he was a great.
I bet he was soaking it up like a sponge, a big sponge back in those days.
He was a great guy. It was just great.
And a Guilford guy to boot.
Yeah.
And he did a very good job as a head coach at Northwest.
He sure did.
And he went down to Lee County, coached some there. So Charlie Groves, one of your main top assistants back in those days.
He was my top assistant.
He was the man. What area did he coach? Was he in charge of the offense, defense, or a particular group of players?
He was, he was just there. We were everything. He was defense, offense.
Back then you didn't have 9 or 10 assistant coaches. You were lucky to have 3 or 4, probably.
Yeah, that's right.
Said, Charlie, what about this guy? This guy may have been there before you. This guy, Fred Yakin. Ever know Yakin?
Yeah, he was the head football coach. I took it after he left.
I thought his name was involved there. Fred Yakin. I remember playing when I was younger, playing against some of his teams. I think he left Eastern. Might have been assistant coach at Western Guilford for a little while or somewhere else.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. So you replaced Mr. Yakin. And that was back about 91, 92 range.
No, that was in 74.
74, gotcha.
Or 76, I guess. When I went to Eastern, we were 8 through 12.
8 through 12, gotcha.
So I had 8th and 9th grade football team and coached basketball.
Gotcha. What year did the championship come out? It was like the Division 2, 3 championship. 81. That was when you guys won the title. And you give me some of those names before. We talked about some of those names in that team. Just some great names.
Murray Yeomans.
Murray was a well-oiled machine back in the day.
Oh yes, he was a great player and a great kid. And of course, he passed away.
He passed away, right?
Several years.
Did he end up playing at Duke or East Carolina?
Yes, he did. He played at Duke. But he was a great kid. All the kids on that team were all great.
Earl Bates, heck of a player too, right?
Yes.
Southern Guilford coach Earl Bates.
And Eric Bratcher and Mike Swain. All those guys were good. Jay Wilder. They played.
You probably felt blessed to have a team, a group of kids like that.
Oh, absolutely.
That was back in 81 about that time. Boy, what a time, what a time.
Well, the year before that, I called the players in. I said, we didn't seem to finish on a good note. What is it that's bothering? What made you tired? What did you do? And he said, we did too much work in the summer, coach.
Too much teamwork.
So we didn't do any of that.
Cut some of that back.
And then we had, I mean, now teams don't do it today, you're in trouble.
Right, right. Because everybody else is doing it, you got to stay caught
That's
up,
right, yeah.
But you guys cut back some, and they were more rested when the season began.
Yep, they are.
Did you have guys who were working jobs and then some working on tobacco and things like that back in those days?
Absolutely.
A lot of tobacco workers
We had
down
a lot
there.
of kids come to practice and get sick. I mean, you know, you felt for them because you knew they worked all day.
You had to kind of keep an eye on the gas pedal sometimes about how to keep that gas pedal full blast or kind of let up on the gas pedal.
Well, I was hard on the kids. I really was. It was my way or the highway.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that one.
And I have to give it to everybody that played for me. They stuck it out. They listened to what I had to say, and I'm so proud of all of them. Today, I see a lot of them today. I have probably bought eight different cars or more from the same guy who played for me, and he's a car dealer.
Where's his dealership? Where's he?
Well, right now he's at Modern Toyota.
Modern Toyota, Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem.
Gotcha.
He was at Westcott Buick and Cox Toyota.
And you stayed with him?
Yes, yes, sir.
Hey, that means a lot.
Yeah,
It
means everything to me.
Absolutely. You look back at some of those family groups you had back then too. You had like the Yeoman brothers.
Yes.
One time at Eastern Guilford, the Holt brothers came through there. Had a lot of Hedricks back then too.
Bobby and Jerry Hedrick were on my first. Bobby was on my first team, and
You're kind of lucky that sometimes you get the one kid, and then here comes his brother later, and you think, hey, I might have something even better than that one.
well, they were both good players and great, and just really good kids. And I had on that '81 team, we had three brothers on it.
Three combinations.
Kipple Davis, Cedric Davis, and Jerome Davis.
Wow. That's quite a
And
group.
all three of them played.
And all played a lot, I bet, too. What about going back to some of the days? Here's another name I wrote down today. Did you ever run into Tina Gunn back in those
Oh,
days?
yeah, I thought I was teaching when she came through
Yeah, I
there.
thought she was a pretty big part of what happened down there.
Yeah, she was a good basketball player.
Turned out to be a pretty good coach, too. Went back to coach at her old alma mater. Went coach at Eastern Guilford back in the day. Did a good job.
She's
there.
a Grimsley now.
Absolutely. Got the Worley team going. Here's one for you. What about the day the school burned down? How'd that day hit you?
I was coaching at Guilford College then, and one of my assistants called me up and he said, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm on my way from the practice field back to the office." He said, "Turn on the television." I said, "Wow, what's going on?" He said, "The school's burning." And I just dropped.
bet you
It just
fell
killed me. It killed me.
All those memories.
Oh, yeah. It was unbelievable.
Now, when the new school came out, were you pleased with the end result of the new?
Oh, shoot. Well, we've always felt like we were the overlooked because we didn't get anything. My first year coaching at Eastern Guilford, they gave me 2 days to go to Gibsonville and get all the stuff I could get. I used practice pants from Gibsonville for 4 or 5 years.
The old yellow jacket pants.
Because we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
We didn't have any money. And the community got together and worked and built the press box up at the stadium. And that stadium, it used to be a pond.
It looks like it could have been a pond.
It
Yeah.
was a pond.
Yeah.
We had fishing classes. But it was a pond, and they drained that pond, and one of our janitor custodians lived on a farm up the road, and he was digging a pond of his own. He gave us dirt. So we didn't have any real topsoil or anything. And the principal finally said, I'll give you enough grass to cover the playing surface on that. So we got it from Raleigh turf grass and Spriggs, and we had a 5,000-gallon tank that we watered from. You could water for 3 or 4 hours, 2 hours, and then it'd take 8 hours to fill up.
Oh yeah.
So the guy from Raleigh said, "You guarantee me water, I'll guarantee you grass." So I went to McLeansville fire department, and they brought their fire truck over and filled that tank up 2 or 3 times. They kept filling it up that day, and I watered full time.
A lot of work went in that operation. People don't realize behind the scenes they'll never know the work that went in.
I'd go over there at night, and we didn't have any lights or track or anything. I'd go over there at night with a flashlight and go barefooted, walk around that field and find those hip sprinkler heads, and you had to work them by hand, put them on and water the field.
What about this one for you? What about the night they gave you the keys to the stadiums? This is a Tommy Grayson Stadium. What was that night like?
It was just unbelievable. You know, I put everything. I put a lot into that field, but I never dreamed they'd make it after me. It was really special.
That had to be a moment in your life you'll never forget. And it kind of feels like some ways you worked so hard all those years, and I mean, it's good to get a little payback sometimes. It feels good.
It is.
To get some recognition.
I mean, it's so nice, and the AD there now played for me.
Randall Hackett?
Yeah, he was a third baseman for me in baseball.
I know he loved baseball back in the day. He sure did.
But yeah, it was quite an honor. It kind of. I'm not good with things like that, you know.
I'm sore about taking it in stride. Have to move on to the next chapter.
Yeah.
But sometimes those things, you go so hard and you're not used to getting that kind of recognition, just hits you in the face. It's got to be similar to what you're going to be feeling Monday night.
Yeah.
Going to the Hall of Fame Monday evening.
Because it's like I said, I'm a firm believer. I wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for the players I had and the coaches that I had. That was it. I went in. I can remember my first year there. We were 1-5, and I went in after the game. We played everybody both ways, and we'd get beat at the end of the game. And I went in that night, and I told the coaches, I said, "Look, we're going to go 1-9. We're playing everybody we can play. We're going to platoon as much as we can." And of course, they immediately said, "Not Bobby Hedrick, he got it." I said, "Well, when the other team gets across 50, we'll put him in."
Right.
But it really helped us. We won our last 4 that night. Yeah.
That was a good move that night then.
And it would have been nice to. And in '81, that's what happened to us in '81. I had Dumas and Yeomans and Mike's. I went to some of the guys that were second, third team, and I said, "Look, you guys got to step up. You're going to play." I said, "I just took platoon. I left Murray, Yeomans, and Dumas and them on defense. And I put me another offense out there, and you spot them in here and there."
Sure.
They did a wonderful job.
But Tim Dumas was a big name back then too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Big name.
He went to East Carolina.
He did. Going in there Monday night, you'll probably see a lot of those players and friends and family. It's going to be almost like a reunion. You get over there and hitting that Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Anybody going away? Any Lexington people coming up from that back in the old days? Might get a few
My
here.
brother-in-law is coming. My nephew are coming. But I don't think anybody. I have a sister. She's not well, so she can't do any traveling. So.
But you'll see a lot of those Eastern Guilford people there that night.
Yes,
Sure.
I will. I know they will. They'll be there.
As we close out our conversation, just give me a few of the best memories you think, maybe what did all this mean to you all these years? It's hard to sum it up now because you're not at the end of your road. You're still coaching. You're still working. You got practice September 27th at Guilford College. What's all this meant to you over the years?
I can just tell you that Jerry Steele had an impact on me. Stuart Maynard had an impact on me. Jim Garrison from Show One had a tremendous impact on me. And John Stewart did also. Jack Jensen. I did things that I learned from them. And Coach McCraw, a couple of other coaches at Guilford who taught me in the education courses and stuff. Those are the people that shaped me to be a teacher. And they taught me the things that you have to do
to be successful.
To be successful.
You
know, you got to be tough, but you got to be fair. And that's the way I always was. I mean, I'm considered mean, but always fair. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that I'm the most proud of is the players that I had that came to me later after. Because I used to always say, I want you to come back and introduce your kids to me. That's what's important to me. That's what makes a man.
See what they made of themselves.
And they've done that. They have done that.
Say, Jim Garrison, I hope I can remember his name because it sounds like he really woke you up down at Shawan. He made a big difference.
He was a great guy. And not only just while I was there, he was my friend
Stayed with you.
until he was dead. As a matter of fact, I talked to him not long before he died.
That's the thing about sports. You make so many connections, and those are like the connections you keep forever and ever.
And he just that motivational attitude that he had about making you want to
I'll tell you
do
one
it.
thing, and I'll let you get rolling because I know we got to keep moving here too. But the thing I thought about the other day, because I remember Doug Henderson back in the day, his coaching style. I tried to figure it out. I said, why was this guy successful? And it finally struck me. I hope I can remember what I found in my mind that day. I just thought about one thing: challenging people. You got to you challenge. That's how you're successful. I think as a coach, as a player too, you got to challenge people. You don't challenge them to do more, then they won't do anything. You got to challenge people.
But when I was at Eastern Guilford, we were the second smallest 2A size school in the state, and we played 3A in the big conference. 10 conference teams, all the Western Guilford, Ragsdale, all of the Southeast, all of them. And we didn't have any business being in there. And it was hard for us to compete. But that's what we did. That's what we intended to do, and we competed. And every team we played knew they had to be ready because we would compete to the end.
I know Northeast Guilford loved to compete against you guys, and I know the Western Guilford people I told you years, they said they used to enjoy those Eastern. Sometimes you guys would play that the last conference game of the year. I remember some of those years, Eastern versus Western, it would come down to it in that conference. Some great competition.
That's right. And that one year was our year. We had the best players. I was talking about Eric Bratcher. I remember earlier Leonard Williams and Toby Bratcher, Eric's big brother. He was a great player.
Tell you what, you deserved it that year, and I think you deserve what you get Monday night too. You really do. You put the time in, you gave it the effort, you went the extra mile, and all those hours out with that flashlight on that football field, I mean, it paid off.
Yeah, it did. Well, I loved it. I still love it.
I hope you enjoy your food tonight at Shane's Rib Shack. I want to thank you for coming up too.
Thank you.
Best success to you down the road always. Keep up the good work. Former Detroit Tiger baseball player, AAA, and also former Guilford College 3 sport athlete, the coach at Eastern Guilford 1981, State 3A championship at Division II. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your good work.
Thank you.
Tommy Grayson, Shane's Rib Shack Football in Focus.